J.B. Pritzker told CBS's Face the Nation the troops aren't wanted, nor are they needed in Chicago.
We have our job, which is to fight violent crime on the streets of our city. And by the way, we're succeeding at that job. But when they bring people in and don't coordinate with us, they're going to cause enormous problems.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson also signing an executive order which will try to prevent the deployment. A White House spokesman says the more Democrats support the president's efforts to crack down on crime, the better it will be for American people. The leader of the world's Roman Catholics has weighed in on last week's shooting in Minneapolis during his weekly blessing at the Vatican. Fox's Kevin Uretsky with details.
The first American pope remembering those hurt during the shooting in his native country.
Our prayers for the victims of the tragic shooting during a school mass in the American state of Minnesota.
An 8-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl were killed, and nearly 20 others, mostly children, were wounded. The Pope offering a prayer for all children hurt every day around the world.
Let us plead God to stop the pandemic of arms, large and small, which infects our world.
Leo also calling for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine, saying, quote, "The voice of weapons must be silenced, while the voice of fraternity and justice must rise." Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Services were held this morning in the auditorium of the Annunciation Catholic School rather than in the church sanctuary, which is where the shooting occurred just days ago. Investigation still underway. No motive has been determined. America's listening to Fox News.
Listen to the all-new Bret Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, in-depth talks with lawmakers from opposite sides of the aisle, along with all your Bret Baier favorites like his all-star panel and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
President Trump has promised to fight a ruling by a federal appeals court which finds most of his tariffs are unconstitutional. The president taking to Truth Social, he calls the decision highly partisan, and he says it would be, in his words, a total disaster for the country if the tariffs went away. Counselor to the president, Peter Navarro on Fox News Sunday.
This was weaponized partisan injustice at its worst. Politicians in black robes. You had 6 out of the 7 judges, Democrats, but you also had 12 blue states intervening against Trump.
Some Democrats on Capitol Hill are also promoting an end to the tariffs. Still want to be a billionaire? Fox's Angelo Bovaro says it's possible.
No Powerball jackpot winners in Saturday's drawing means the winning pot now grows to $1.1 billion. Cash value is $498.4 million. Saturday's winning numbers were 3, 18, 22, 27, 33, and the Powerball 17. No one has matched all 6 numbers since May 31st, and the odds of matching all those numbers are astronomical, 1 in 292.2 million. The odds of getting struck by lightning are far greater. The next drawing is on Monday. Good luck. Angelo Bavaro, Fox News.
And while it is still possible, yes, possible, probable, that is another case. The odds are almost 300 million to 1 against you, matching all of those numbers. Israel's killed a Hamas spokesman, and its security cabinet is considering expanding the offensive in Gaza, the IDF identifying the spokesman as Abu Abediyah. His last statement says if Israel finds the offensive and expands it, Hamas could do its best to protect living hostages. I'm Daria Aldinger. This is Fox News.
It's the Will Cain Show. Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday on foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss a show. Get the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
If you see something, say something. And stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at NMICrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions And we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dan Dan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
As the day unfolds with laughter and cheer, Brad's got the magic that brings us all near. Sharing tales of hope, dreams that shine bright. Good morning, Marianas, together we ignite. So join the palm trees, we dance through the days. Rhythm and soul in so many ways. Together we rise through the moments we share. Good morning, Marianas, feel the love everywhere. Wake up to the sunshine in the morning light. Good vibes all around, everything feels right. Brad on the show, bringing joy to our day. Into the Marianas breeze, let the worries drift away. Yeah, that was the air. Connection grows stronger. We show that we care. Rock arms, feel the soulful flow. Look right on in Mariana, that's where you belong. The sweet island breeze and the ocean's embrace. Brad's got the stories, sunlight repays. Southside meditated, fall in this ride. Yeah, we're shining with love as our guide. So raise your voices high, let the music play on. Good morning, Marianas, we're where you belong.
I know they've got a hangover. There's all that softball, the tug of war, all those games. We gotta be a little bit quiet. But I don't think we can be quiet. I don't think we can do it. Good morning, Marianas. Hey, it's Labor Day in the Marianas. That's right. It's a bonus day off of this long weekend. Don't get me wrong. I know it's a 3-day weekend, but come on. We've been checked out since Thursday, right? I mean, it's been a long time coming for a long weekend. We needed this weekend. A lot of crazy things happening this weekend, too. But the good news is we're having some time. Whoa. Had to cough there for a second. But we're having some time to kind of recover today. Again, a bonus day of relaxing thanks to federal holidays. Hooray. That's one of the bonuses that we end up getting. Gotta love federal holidays just so we can have those extra days off. The local days off are great, but man, having Labor Day off is massive. And you think we have embraced that holiday? Absolutely. Did you make your way down the fishing base yesterday? Holy cow, man. The smell of barbecue was in the air in the morning. Like around 7 o'clock, people were down there. The smoke was billowing. People were prepping for a massive day that everybody needed, by the way. And I don't know where this cough came from, so you can ask all you want. I can't help you. I can't tell you why it's here and when it got here. But anyway, we do have your calls ready for today. Hold on, let me make sure that number is up for you, too. With all the, there we go, ringtone's got to be on, otherwise I'm not going to hear you. 789-2323, that's the number to give us a call today, 670-789-2323. But Brad, it's long distance, that's a problema. You can WhatsApp that call too, we've got it there as well, 670-789-2323. Talk to us about everything that's going on in your neck of the woods, and there's a lot going on all over, from the Marianas to the West Coast. There's nothing but action happening. And the folks over at Marianas Press are there in Washington right now for that tournament. So you're able to watch maybe some of your friends, your relatives from who used to live here, or maybe there's folks who never got the chance to make it out here in the first place. And they are checking it out here, all the stuff that's happening. Big softball tournament here, plagued by rain except for yesterday. Yesterday, finally got some good weather for folks to get out there and enjoy it. And I was under the weather. You can hear the coughing thing a little bit. I had the nose blowing thing, all that stuff. I'm like, meh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's terrible timing. Well, we're here today anyway. And we're here because we're going to have a great guest come in. We've got Miss Marianas Earth. She's going to be making her way in here in about 10 minutes to join us on the show and talk about some big events that they have going on for sure. And she'll be up for your calls as well. Again, 789-2323. But I want to say good morning to you guys. Who's that? Randy Rosario in the house. Oh, my goodness. Great to see you, Randy. And I see you on the Facebook side today. You're not over there on YouTube land. Michael's there. He's like, hey, let's thank Candid News for, hey, Candid News, they're here today. They're helping share our stuff today, too. No kidding. And they've got a lot going on for us, and we're loving those guys. Thanks so much. Caleb is in the house. Good morning. Good to see you, Caleb. Always. Tobot, the tint man from Dan. I was talking to him on the phone on Saturday. I'm like, we might have to change your name to the weatherman from Dan, because he always gives us the heads up when the weather is coming up from that side and making its way over. Piling Gizemo sending his comments long distance from the island of Guam. Piling, great to see you this morning. He says, good morning, you beautiful, handsome, hot, and sexy island brother, Brad Rosala. Hey, I took a shower. It's working. It's working. Thanks, brother. Good to see you. Juan Hookwood, good morning to you, and happy Labor Day as well. Oh, look at that. Candid in the house. Thank you so much. And they shared it over on their stream, too. Thanks so much. Good morning to Candid News. Thanks for joining us in the house today. And Tobot, man, you're right. When I started the program this morning, it was pretty funny because I was listening to everything here. So nerd stuff, talking about like the wires and all that other stuff. I'm listening to the show. I'm listening to the news update. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have my headphones on. I'm hearing it. That means it's not going out to the world. So that's what you got. Hey, I'll tell you what, today is going to be a good one, especially in the morning. While most people are off because the CNMI is the largest employer in the Marianas, there are still people who have to go to work. And it's not fun watching everybody else be off. Just think about it. If you got those private kids, remember when you were going to school in public school like me? You see all those private school kids, they were out enjoying summer early. Those turkeys. Well, that's what it feels like today for everybody else in the private sector, watching all you government folks enjoy it. And we're going to take a real quick look at traffic in Saipan right now. All the schools are closed. All the government offices are closed. Not fire, not police. Those guys doing their job for sure. But let's go take a look over there. Let's zip over. There's not too much traffic going on. That's too bad right now. I can see over there by, is that by Guangdong Hardware? It is. No, that's Shell Dan. You can see there is a little bit of a backup over there at the light. That happens from time to time, but it's only for folks going up and down the hill. There's no line over there by Shell Dan. It's looking pretty good. Even everything down there in Chalumpiao, Susupi, Beach Road's looking good. How about right around the corner from us at the intersection that matters, where connections matter? IT&E looking pretty good. Some folks are backed up, but they're not even back past the old IT&E yet, so things are looking pretty good. Over on Beach Road, there's some folks trying to head south as well, but it's not bad. Over by Bostonian Bakery, folks getting hung up at the Quartermaster Light. Other than that, traffic's looking mighty fine. Something's going on in Garapan, though. There is some traffic for sure as folks are making their way over by JG Sablon intersection. Folks trying to head north. I know they're not going to Garapan Elementary, though. That's a nice place. Maybe they're trying to get over to the pickleball/tennis ball courts at AMP. As you see, there's some traffic at the light over there. But other than that, Saipan looking Jerry Strawberry, looking pretty easy all the way around. Well, that's a great start for today. I'll tell you that. No complaints on that as well. But, you know, if you don't want to be the one who's driving, you could be out there on the road loving it. Hold on. My goodness. I can't even type. But you could be out there on the road letting the pros do all the driving for you. But I like to be a driver. Oh, yeah, I like being a driver, too. But what if I told you can get to where you need to go, and it's only going to cost you like $2? Oof, that's a good deal. If you ended up doing that all month, you're going to spend way less on gas, and you're going to be doing it with Transit CNMI. That's the folks who are getting it done. They won a nationwide award for having the best small market, rural area transit system, and we are loving them. And you can even see where they are all the time. That's one of the things they've got on the Blue Line. You can see right now there's one over there at Paseo de Marianas, and there's another one by Jota and Dandan. And the other one is just hanging out at the AK intersection just in case something happens with one of the others. It's not bad at all. It's pretty nice. And it's only $2, and it'll take you all the way around the Blue Line, and it's got to be the best deal in town. It's clean, it's nice, it's air conditioned, and there's free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi. That's right. Imagine all the people you can meet online. You just stream live on the bus. Just hang out all day. And you know what? You could do it even for half off if you're a student, a veteran, active duty military, Monamco, or if you've got a disability. It's only $1 per trip. Hey, you can take a seat. It's okay. And it's the best deal in town. Now, they're operating 6:30 to 8:30 Monday through Friday. And on weekends and holidays, like today, they're only driving around till 8 p.m. So 6:30 in the morning till 8 p.m. today. You got to give them some time to spend with their family too, right? And good news is they take cash. How many places take cash today? Well, they do, and you got to pay in exact change. So if you're going around trying to look like a big spender, like, ooh, take a look at this crispy new Lincoln. You got to pay exact change. So if it's just you and you're a Monamco, that means you can pay for 4 other people, 4 other Monamcos or students or veterans or active duty military or someone with a disability. It's a good deal. It's a great deal. It's the best deal, and that's why they won a big award. All right, well, we've got some excitement for you. Miss Marianas Earth just walked in. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a real quick break, real quick. We're going to come back, and you're going to meet her for yourself. Oh, my God. Are you excited? I'm so nervous. All right, here we go.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
All right, Marianas, it is Labor Day, it is Monday, and just about everybody else is chilling and relaxing at home. But we are getting it done. We are working hard for you, Marianas. And we're going to get it started here with a special guest in studio. You won't believe it. Somehow we're cool enough to get Miss Marianas Earth in here with us this morning. Miss Marianas, she's here. Good morning. Thanks for coming.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I am we have a lot of bright lights in here, for sure. And but it's never been so sparkly now that we've got you in here. And then this tiara, which I think could possibly power the CNMI with solar power.
Possibly. Don't boost my ego too high now.
Well, welcome. So let's get it started. I only became aware of Miss Marianas Earth. Probably, I don't know. Has it been like 10 years or something like that?
About.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing about it, but like, it's really started picking up a lot of steam and becoming a really, really big thing. And we've had, well, now that we've got you in here, we're really cool. But we've had, your predecessor was in here also, and it's really cool. But now, well, let's start from scratch. Let's just start, let's introduce you to everybody. All right.
Sounds good. My name is Aria Keilbach. I'm 23 years old. And much like yourself, I quite recently learned about Miss Earth as well.
So now you are way more than just Miss Marianas Earth, although that's pretty cool. But you know, you've done a lot of stuff in the community. You've helped a lot of folks. You've helped a lot of people with four legs. One of them is mine. Our dog Henry is part of came through the whole Booney Babies program and everything like that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been an incredible journey. And that's partly the reason why I decided to do Miss Earth in the first place, for sure.
Well, let me ask you about Booney Babies real quick, because it's really cool. I love it. And if people don't know about it, they should definitely hear about it right now.
Thank you. Booney Babies is an animal rescue, primarily dogs, that myself and my sister started a few years ago. I've lived on Saipan since I was 15 now. It seems like forever.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's coming up on 8 years.
You're an official adult now.
I know. It's crazy how that happens. But I moved here, and my passion has always been dogs. I grew up with so many pets, drove my parents crazy, but came here and then looked around and saw all the stray dogs, and it really felt like fate. And I was only supposed to be here for a month visiting, and I saw the boonies, and I got stuck, and that has definitely become my passion. So years later, we have a rescue running. It's an official nonprofit, and we have probably rehabilitated over 600 dogs at this point.
I love it because you didn't just start this up as part of your campaign to win something. Like there's so many people who, when they're getting ready to do one of these events, or where they're gonna run for office or whatever, they create this big thing. We're gonna change the Marianas, we're gonna make a difference. And then if they don't win, that's the end of that organization. This thing started way before that. It has nothing to do with all of this.
Oh yeah, you can ask my dad. He used to drive me up around town and through the alleys every weekend because I begged him to go looking for stray dogs in our hometown. And of course we never found any there, but that was my to-do was, hey Dad, can we go look for stray dogs? Okay, sure.
Well, that is terrific. So by the way, the dog that we got through Booney's Babies, named him Henry. The kids wanted to name him Danger. I'm like, you can't name him Danger because you can't go if he's running down the beach, you can't go Danger, Danger. Can't do that. So anyway, he's a big old dog. He got to be, pretty beastly for a Booney dog. And he's the most lovable guy, and he is super vocal. Like, he doesn't bark at people all the time, but like when he wants attention, out of nowhere, it's like, where did this come from?
Well, that's what good care does. Sounds like you've done a good job.
I would say it's a family project. Definitely a family project. He gets walked every day, getting a good walk up to Top Chow and back. Yeah, and he hangs out with our other Boonies. But anyway, enough about our dogs. We can talk about this other stuff. So how did you hear about Miss Marianas and that it got you to want to do it?
It's a really random journey. It was definitely not something that I saw in the cards for myself. Of course, I had seen the pageants in the past, and I'd met some of the girls, and they were always incredibly nice, but never on my to-do list, didn't cross my mind. And then this past year, the directors approached me and they explained what it was about, which is how I came to join, because Miss Earth itself is slightly different than some of the other beauty pageants here.
Way better than all the other planets.
I would say so myself, but I might be a little biased.
Marianas and Mars, she's okay,
Oh, no, the other pageants are amazing, but Miss Earth is eco-friendly and nonprofit focused. And so they told me that, and although this is entirely outside my comfort zone, I felt sort of obliged to do it, considering I run my life to be eco-friendly and I have a nonprofit. So it felt like I needed to do it and needed to get the Boonies name out there. So joined Miss Earth. I honestly had no expectations, or it was a complete surprise to me that we're sitting here today with a crown on my head. But it was an incredible journey, and I'm really glad that I get to go and represent the Saipan and the CNMI on the international stage and show everybody the Boonie dogs and the community here.
Dealing with stray dogs, and they're not like clean, and like they're all mangy and ticks and fleas and all this. I'm really selling it. Like, this is a dog for you. But they do clean up nice. But like, you're going from doing something like that to this is the total opposite side of it, right? Now you're doing the whole glamorous thing, So what is some of that preparation that you have to do for all these things?
Oh, it has been an entirely different experience for me than my day-to-day. As you said, I'm normally in my yard picking up poop and covered in dog hair, and I don't dress up. I had to borrow this entire outfit, if we're being honest. But it's been really fun to kind of branch out and try something new and clean myself up, and then of course take it off in the car so I don't get paws on it on the way inside home. But it's been fun and definitely extremely different than what I'm used to.
Well, and even building up to the event, what do they tell you about? Like, how do you like? I'm thinking in terms of sports, like, oh, you got to train for it. You run, you got to get ready, practice this and all this other stuff, your fitness, all this. What do you do to prepare for something like this?
You're ahead of the game there, because in my head, I thought we just walk on a stage and we say hi and we put on a dress and that's it. But that's definitely not it. It's far more intricate and hard work than I imagined, which obviously it's a whole production. It's really an incredible thing that goes on. But there was a lot of training to walk and stand right, and the heels. I do not wear heels. I'm 6 foot myself, so it's not something that's in my normal attire. So that was entirely new as well, of learning to walk and pose and talk, and it was fun, but it's a lot.
Are there coaches here, or do you go online?
They luckily set me up with coaches, or I would be completely lost. So there's a few coaches here. There's a few online that are reaching out for the international portion of this. That'll be fun. I'm really excited. I think I'm going to go to the Philippines a bit early and get some coaching, because all the other girls have been training for this their whole lives. They're ahead of the game, and
Wow.
I'm just stepping into it and trying to fill the shoes of CNMI. So I'm hoping to get some help there and represent.
And that's the big thing. So let's talk about this Philippines. Now, how big is this event?
Bigger than I ever expected. To be honest, if I knew it was this big, I'm not sure I would have had the courage to step on the national stage and try to get there. But the international competition is going to be in Manila in November 5th. And it's definitely something I'm pretty nervous about, but we're going to try it out. And I'm sure that the other girls will rock it as well. There are so many different countries that come and represent. And so I'm really excited that on this international stage, the CNMI is going to get some light.
And it's huge. So it's going to be in the Philippines, and it's going to be in November. And so you've got a little bit of time before it goes. When you say you're going to get there early, like how early, and what makes sense to get there?
I'm looking at about October 20th.
Okay.
To head out there, and I've never been to the Philippines as well, so that'll be super exciting. I'm excited to meet the people and see everything, and then train so that I can compete on the stage with these amazing women.
Well, and then I know I know nothing about makeup, and I know nothing about, so that makes two of us. And I don't know anything about, like, I know enough about easy stuff for me to iron for pants and shirts. But like when you're thinking about all these outfits, there's all kinds of different things you have to pack for this.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For sure. There's the evening gowns themselves, which are what you think when you think classic pageant. But that's even not simple. There's designers and styles, and I've been completely lost in that sense. If you've seen my stories on Instagram, it's been begging the community to pick for me because I have no idea, but we're getting there. So there's designers, there's of course the swimsuit portion, and then what's really cool in my opinion is the costume section. There's a national costume portion.
Nice.
Yes, so we'll be making my costume shortly, and it's got to be something that represents the Northern Mariana Islands, and then send in a video reference, and they'll judge based off of those things.
That's awesome. And is it like a secret for some of these things? It's the big reveal at the event?
You know, that's a great question. For the national portion here, my costume was green foliage. A lot of it was natural. I had a headpiece on with natural foliage that a floral artist here made me. It was beautiful, but that was to represent the boonies because the Boonie Dog Rescue. So I'd love to do something like that again and make it a little more extravagant and big and encompassing more than just myself and my rescue and the CNMI.
Well, I mean, you could go full Cruella de Vil, you get the whole, no, I'm making a puppy a jacket out of 101 Dalmatians. No, terrible. All right. Well, I didn't realize it till just now. It seems like it's perfect that you're there representing the Marianas because you literally can't spell Marianas without your name in there. It's like fits right in there perfectly.
I've never noticed that, but you're absolutely right.
Spelling. Kids, pay attention. It helps. All right. So all those outfits, you've got the evening gown dress, and then the evening gown, that's one part, right? Then you've got the swimsuits, another part, something cultural.
Yes.
And is there another one? Is there like just a regular one? Jeans? No.
I know, I wish, right? Walk out there in my shorts and boonie paw prints. There's an interview portion as well, of which they'll ask some questions. It's primarily eco-focused, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of how would you solve global warming and...
Okay. All right. This is not you. Oh, hold on. This is not you, but I do have this clip. I know you're going to do better than this. You'll be able to hear it probably from there. Hold on one second. I don't have this. I didn't get this just for us, but I do have this.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and I believe that they should our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries. So we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Okay, so that was Miss South Carolina going for like Miss USA pageant.
Goodness.
That is not going to happen to you, but I would think, I try to think of the worst case scenario when I'm going to go on stage for something. What happens if you blank out? You know, how can you recenter yourself real quick? What's your go-to going to be? I imagine this stage is going to be amazing. It's going to be huge. There's going to be tons of people there. How are you preparing for anything like that?
Well, I can only go up from there, right? That's definitely a big worry. Of course, the first thing that I imagined when they asked me if I'd like to join this pageant was me absolutely tripping in those heels on a grand stage in front of everybody.
Yes.
So that's definitely a big fear. What really carries me on is what I'm representing. There's really no choice but to go on that stage and represent the CNMI. And it's, I think, a huge responsibility for sure and something I'm nervous about, but I'm really happy and grateful to be doing it.
So I'm laughing at one of the comments. They're talking about like one of the local headlines that came out. It's like maybe the lady that just got released recently can help you with the wardrobe in the Philippines. They have top end fashion wear. That's great though. Yeah, thanks for paying attention to the news here. That's great. But that is something though. I mean, you're going to be there for a couple of weeks, and you know, do you bring your own like makeup person, or do they provide one, or how does all that work?
It's a whole process, and I'm sure I will learn so much more about it as it comes up. But for right now, I have a makeup artist here who's talking me through the things so I can be able to do it on my own. We're not there yet, but I'm learning, and I'm hopefully going to be able to whip something up on those days where I'm sure they'll have us up at 6 a.m. like yourself and touring the Philippines and visiting all the things there that we need to do, which is going to be so much fun. But that'll definitely be something that I need to learn to do myself. And then artists, of course, for the official pageant, I'm hoping.
Is there one of those performance things? Do you have to sing or dance or any of that stuff?
You know, that's another thing where I specifically looked for it and joined based on the premise that there wasn't going to be one. And unfortunately, there is.
Oh, so what?
So I'm not sure the Northern Marianas will have a talent representation right now this year.
You could do it.
I could, if I could bring a boonie and train it on stage, sure.
Do some tricks and all that other stuff. Or just get somebody in a dog suit. It'll work.
Here we go.
Yep.
I'm sure they'd listen better too.
It's going to be in the Philippines. Don't sing My Way. That would be the only thing I'd be told. Anna Isabel's watching. She said, "You will do awesome."
Thank you.
Pamela Diamond says, "You're amazing, Aria." Some comments coming in for you too. All this stuff sounds amazing, and I imagine. Look, I don't know enough about like makeup stuff, but I know there's got to be a fine line between putting more on because you're going to be on stage, and then trying not to put it on with a paint roller. Yes. Right? Like, so how do you find that kind of a balance, having those pterodactyl wings, all those kind of things?
You know, that's a great question that I still don't have the answer to. I'm one of those people that makeup is, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it can be really fun, and I think there's such a fun girl culture to it. But I've never been good at it or really tried. So my day-to-day is no makeup or simply mascara. So this is a whole new journey. And if I wear anything more than that, it definitely feels like I have a cake on my face, and that's stressful. So I'm gonna have to learn the balance between, you're absolutely right, it needs to be seen, but not too much. And then I really also do want to preserve, though, that this is an earth pageant. And so I don't want to be up there with face paint. I really want to keep myself and show what I was meant to do.
I'm curious. All right, so I'm looking at right now, this is the Miss Earth USA. We'll put it up on the screen for everybody else so they can see it. Well, they can see you too. And I'm looking to see if that's got that same thing. You can see this is some real makeup stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right there. This is they probably done it before. Miss Tiny Miss. I'm like, she does not look like she should be in there. What is that little kid doing in there? That's why. Okay, so it looks like kind of like that blend of I was looking for just a regular Miss USA stuff, or not Miss USA, but Miss Earth. And it's all over the place, of course, right? This is like a worldwide thing. So do you know how many people you're going to be going against?
I don't. The number of countries seems to change each year. For example, Guam had one a few years ago. They're not having a person represent them this year. So that number goes up and down, but it's a lot. It's definitely enough that there's a lot of pressure.
So when that happens, does Guam give you guys some love? Well, since we're not going to do it, we're going to help you guys out.
Huh? Maybe I need to reach out and extend a hand and see.
You would think there's people for this. You know what? I totally have an idea now. It's not for today, but now I'm like, we should have, there's makeup people here to give us a demonstration. Like, how would you prepare? Like, how, like, do somebody on the show? Not me, but because I got too much stuff to do with all this stuff here. But like, it would be fun to see them transform somebody from like just hanging out to this is your full stage makeup and all that other stuff.
Absolutely, it's definitely super cool to watch.
So how do you, when you're thinking about like the cultural stuff, you've been here for like 8 years now, right? But who's your first step? Who do you approach? You know, who do you can't go house to house. Do you know how to make something?
Well, my next best thing to going house to house is social media is such a platform to reach out to everybody who's on it, which is a majority of this community, thankfully.
That we wouldn't exist without
exactly. So that's one thing that I've been trying to utilize I don't want to be doing this pageant on my own. I do want to be doing it specifically to represent the CNMI, so it's not about me. I love representing the Boonie Dogs, but that's not what it's about either. So I've been trying to really extend that, and I hope people are feeling it, that I want to represent whatever you want me to represent. So please do tell me what you want me to know, tell me what you want me to say and put on the stage there, and tell the other girls, because I absolutely do take that to heart, and I really want to be a good representative for this community.
Yeah, so like I'm already got the wheels are turning in my head about all this. So I'm thinking about like people shooting video of you learning how to do some of these dance moves. And then also as they are trying to get you fitted for a real traditional outfit. Like even the regular island shows that they have, there's so many different outfits and all this other stuff.
It's such a delicate balance as well of I am not from here. I've definitely called this place home and have been welcomed with open arms, which has been amazing, and I'm so honored to experience that. But it's a delicate balance of I don't want to wear the cultural stuff that's not mine to wear. I completely respect that. I do want to represent the CNMI. So whatever that balance of, you know, finding something that's not a extreme cultural significance to a certain people that's not mine to touch, but something that can also represent the CNMI as a whole and can be okay for me to represent is what I'm looking for.
See, I hear what you're saying, and it makes me, I totally get it. But it sounds like some of those, like the past, like 10 years, like social media, cultural appropriation issue kind of stuff. But I think if it was coming from people from here, and it was their idea, and they're sending you off to be a representation of here, I think that is a big warm embrace and an endorsement of yes, you have to wear this. Like it sounds like a big deal. Yeah. That's why I think getting in touch. And I don't have a name to give you. Like, oh yeah, call my bleeps. You know, like I don't know. Actually, you know, thinking about it, I do have a couple people. Maybe I'll. But
perfect.
But I'm like, so there was a MBA did a 5K. It was like a Cultural Heritage Month 5K or something, and they had a special category if you wore something cultural, like for the event. Yeah. So I reached out to some friends. I'm like, all right, gotta do me up like a Carolinian warrior. And I'm like, oh, you know, and like, really? I'm like, yeah. So I got the whole thing, all the you know, the coconut fronds and all that stuff with the crown. And hey,
see, there you go.
We got a lot in common. So, and then I had that red, I don't know what you would call it, but let's just call it the cloth, the adornment. And so that was my 5K running in that. And you wouldn't believe it. That's pretty hot. I mean,
I bet.
it was looking
That's
pretty
some
hot
dedication.
too. But it was cool. So I got to win a prize because nobody else did it. But then every year after, like, there's always people doing it now and doing that when they do it. But it was a lot of fun to do it, to represent part of our local culture here, because the run was on the beach pathway. And it got a lot of people like, what is going on? Like, who are you going after?
I'm sure.
But it was a really cool, authentic way to do it, and it was kind of neat because it was done with some love. I got to pay for it, but it was done with love for me to get it, for them to make it for me and everything, and it was really cool. So I felt like they were a part of it, the whole way through.
That's fun.
So you got makeup, you got dresses, you've got competitions. What are you gonna do? I don't know. Maybe you learn how to do a yo-yo. I don't know, but something. It sounds cool. Boonie dog tricks. There's so much going on for this. Thank goodness today's September 1st. You've got all of September and just about all of October before you fly to the Philippines.
Yes, I'm gonna need it, definitely.
Man, and I can't imagine. And then it's your first time to the Philippines. That's going to be an experience.
Yes.
So
a lot of firsts.
Guessing it's in Manila, but I'm looking for it now. Let's see. I know it's going to be in Philippines.
Yes, in Manila.
Do you know the that venue?
It is definitely, I've been told, I can't remember the name, but it is a beautiful venue. It's a super fancy hotel, and it looks absolutely amazing.
Let's find out. Boom, boom, boom. Okata, Manila in the Philippines. Well, according to this, says the official venue has not been confirmed yet, but that's, but the rumored venue is the Okata, Manila in Parañaque City. Okay. Manila's so big, it's got all kinds of different places that are still Manila. So let's see. I know there's someone in the comments who's going to know the answer to this. I guarantee. Because one of my friends who watches the show in the mainland, he knows all this stuff. He used to help out with all this stuff. Here we go. Let me get in here and check out. I saw a bunch of these comments that came in. Hold on. I got to full screen this stuff. It is hard to keep up because they flip back. So this is a chance for MVA to market the islands. That's from Ann Isabel. That's a good point. MVA should be a part of helping you out with this stuff. Are they? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but I am definitely open to any and all help.
Well, this makes great sense, Ann. Thanks for that. PJ says, make a flame tree costume. Ooh. Make it like a flame tree costume, like Hunger Games, that one that girl on fire. No, that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure in my capabilities.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah. We can get that at the store. Joten's got them. I think they're on sale. It says, let's see. Yeah, it's... A negotiation says, based on hearing the Q&A from Brad, you'll make the girl, let's go. Good morning, Mariana. See, best of luck. All right, yeah, that would be pretty cool. It says, go and surprise the Philippines that you could tint windows. I can teach you. That's Tobot. He's the tint man from Dan Dan. That could be your special trick.
I do love my tinted windows.
Ann says, hey, some folks may want to come and watch to support. There you go. That would be pretty cool. I'm sure this is going to be something that's televised for everybody.
Yes,
do they tell you about televised in Philippines, but is this going to be broadcast online for people to see it?
Yes, it's one of the big four pageants. So worldwide, international, you have your Miss Universe and then the others, and Miss Earth is one of those big four. So it will be absolutely broadcasted. I'm sure pretty widely so that all the countries with the girls representing there can tune in and watch.
Maybe that's what we end up doing. Hold on.
Have a watch party?
Yes, we'll have a watch party. Miss Earth watch party. Now, I got to tell you, I was never big into this pageant stuff.
Same
but
here.
I think it's awesome. By the way, there's a great story behind that picture on the phone. I never really got into it. I never really bought into it, but I've gotten to meet some of the young women who've represented the NMI, and it kind of turned me around on it a little bit. Like now I have a warmer feel toward it because I get to see what kind of a platform it gives you to really share some of your talents with folks. Gives you a lot more access to a bigger stage and all that. So now I'm a fan.
of this kind of
Pretty
stuff.
much exactly how it went for myself as well. I joined this pageant I felt like I needed to do it and to represent the Boonie Dogs, but I thought it would be, you hear pageants and you think it's this really hostile environment and the girls are at each other's throats and just trying to win, and there's no camaraderie and just orders. So I was really not super excited to experience that. And that turned around immediately. I mean, the women here, just the girls on Saipan that I competed with recently, training with them, absolutely amazing. And they were all incredibly sweet and supportive the entire time. So I'm pretty sure that's probably unique to Saipan and our community.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It was amazing.
I didn't know.
Super cool. I competed with, this year there were so few girls that most of it was the teenagers they did a Miss Earth Angel, I think it was called, for the teen portion of that. So a lot of these girls were young teenagers. And that was absolutely incredible to see them step out on the stage and gain confidence throughout the entire thing and learn what they wanted to represent in this pageant. It was super cool to watch.
Well, that's cool that you guys get to work together and you get to feel that kind of camaraderie. Because really, like what you were just saying, that's how I would think of it. I also thought of it as like so fake, like all this other stuff. Come on, like no, I was not into it. I was vehemently against it.
I think that's why Miss Earth is so special as well, because it kind of pulls out of that stigma around the pageants a little bit and focuses it more on what's important and saving the earth and being eco-friendly and highlighting those nonprofits and those passions of the girls. So it kind of pulls out of that crazy pageant drama a little bit to show what it's really about, which is the girls and what they want to do.
All right, so now it's September 1st. This event is happening on November 5th. What are some of the things that you're going to be doing between now and then to really prepare for this? I mean, is this something you do from when you wake up to when you go to bed, or is there just a little bit? Do you have to read stuff? And do you get to read it, or do you just have to walk with that book on top of your head as you're practicing?
It's one of those things that's tough for me, especially because my days are filled with the dogs and I'm up and doing that sort of thing pretty consistently every single day. It's not a 9 to 5. I mean, they live at my house and it's around the clock care type of thing. And so it has been hard to balance that life and this crazy extravagant one and learning how to meet them in the middle. So the training I'm doing is really more so of being conscious in my day-to-day, walking with the dogs, posing, and of course studying up on pageantry and CNMI in my spare time when I can. But it's one of those things that I'm sure I'll be using every single minute until I step on that stage to try and get ready. And I'm not sure if we'll get there, but I'm sure we'll be pretty close. And then community events are a big fun aspect of this as well, of being Miss Earth CNMI. Yeah, there's events that I can plan and incorporate the community in, so that will be fun. I know there's a bingo fundraiser coming up. There's a coastal event that's going to be fun, and I'll be at.
International Coastal Cleanup?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yes, I'll be there.
And you're not skipping on neck day when you're wearing that crown all the time.
Exactly. And carrying dog food bags, that's some effort. Those big water jugs. I feel like that's my training.
You got to play the Rocky music in the background while you're doing all that. Juan Nandan says, she can wear pandanus clothing because it's all natural. Hey, there's one.
There we go.
PJ was talking about the flame tree, and she said she'll be the trunk and the roots will be shells, while the branches extend outward with her arms and above her head like the red-orange petals. Hold on, flip back down again. Oh, no, there it is. The red-orange petals. Wish I was there. I can already envision it as Miss Earth and representing the CNMI. That'll be a bomb costume. Nice. And then Juan said, about the pandanus clothing, saying boosting awareness for the tourism is very important. Yeah, totally agree. Do you think of this as being an ambassador for the Marianas?
Yes, I really do. I think that's the most important part of it.
Nice. Well, I'm curious. So we already beat Guam because they're not in it. Sorry,
Guam.
We're
good. We're done. That's all we needed to do.
Hey, again, they've been doing these programs for a long time too. So maybe the way you guys were all working together, if you guys work together too, I'll probably get me in trouble now talking about this because they're probably like, we don't need to. We're good. We got it. All right. Sorry. All right. So I'm guessing yesterday was a big Labor Day thing for you too. Did you have to get down there for all the events?
I didn't make it. I had some meetings during the day, but I heard about it and it looked fun.
What's your next big community engagement activity?
I have my dates here ready for you to ask me that question.
Nice. I'll take a sip of coffee.
So, September 19th, that's the one you're already ready for. 11 a.m., 8 to 11, coastal cleanup, island-wide beach cleanup. So, I'm expecting everybody to be there and doing their part.
So, are you going around the island? Keep cleaning.
Yes.
Keep cleaning, peasants.
Exactly.
No. No. All right.
No.
All right.
But it is super. I do honestly have a trash bag in my car, and I pick up trash when I'm walking around.
Nice.
So it's fun. It's easy. It's something that everybody can do. So I'll be there, and I expect many other people to be there as well. And then October 18th, we have our bingo fundraiser.
Ooh.
And that'll be at Saipan Vegas, 11 to 3. Everybody loves bingo, right?
Yeah, at 11 to 3. So is that in the morning? Yeah. Wow. All right. So
Early bingo.
Early bingo. It's brunch bingo going on over at Saipan Vegas October 18th?
Yes.
And that's just a couple days before you go?
Yep. That's gearing up. And then the last thing will be after I come back. It will be in November, and it'll be a sustainable fashion show. I think Heavenly, the past Miss Earth, started that last year, and she did an amazing job, and the community enjoyed it, so they'd like me to continue that this year. So
that's great.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Well, Jerry says, Brad will be there. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let me know when they start Mr. Earth. That's it. Being shaped like a planet kind of helps. So I think I got a good start going on right now. Miss Marianas, is it just your personal stuff, or is there a Miss Marianas Earth social media channel page that you're on?
There is a Miss Northern Marianas Earth on social medias.
And
Instagram is pretty active.
And that's the one that you're on mostly, or are people going to your page?
I have my own Instagram.
Okay.
Because
you have your own.
Yeah, I have my own. I've existed before this pageant, believe it or not. So.
That's it. No kidding. All right, so let's hold on. Let me not get caught up here. Let's find yours. Which one do you want people to find?
Mine is Aria, ARIA _52.
Is it just going to pop up? No, but it does. Miss Northern Marianas Earth popped up.
One.
So we'll open that up in another tab. So Aria _. Let's see if that's enough.
I should probably change that to make it more accessible.
Okay, so Aria _.
52.
52. Is that how many dogs that you have? There we go. All right, pal. All right, so we'll put them on the screen so you guys can see where it's at, and you can see, okay, I got notifications, and I'll turn those off so you can't see it. Yay. All right, so this is it. This is the page. It'd be helpful if I did it in a certain way where you guys could actually see it. There you go. You can see it a little bit better. All right, so there you go. That's the actual page, and now you'll get a follow request from us. Yay.
Thank you. I was going to be slightly offended if you didn't hit that.
Well, now we are, and you got the pictures from the big event and everything there, too, plus your real-life stuff, so people get to learn a lot about you. Is this going to be like one of those things where they have on the, look, I am following Miss Northern Marianas Earth, so I got that. Ooh, now I know. And look at all the people. These are all the events. Like, so your support teams, they're all out there following everything that you're doing, right?
Yes, it's been awesome.
Were these the competitors for?
Yes, those are the girls.
Wow, are you not on one of those, or is this the teen one?
Those are mostly teens. I'm right there, though, right in the middle.
Oh, there you are,
yep.
Right there. And there it is. That was all building up to it.
Yes.
And then you had the big event, and man, just like that. And so how long is your reign? Do you become a dictator and you stay as long as you want, or until someone dethrones you?
Oh, pretty much. It's a full year. So between now and the next pageant next year, the next local pageant, I will be Miss Earth NMI.
Well, that's pretty cool. What an adventure this is going to be. I mean, like, you put this on a resume, your LinkedIn, whatever it happens to be. Like, this is This is so cool. There's so many opportunities for people out here.
There really are.
So, all right. So now we know what's going on for International Coastal Cleanup. We know what's going on for your big fundraising event on the 18th of October. You're going to head out of here on the 20th, and the big event is on November 5th. What after November 5th, after that big event, then what? Then you just hang up your crown and do nothing, or do you got stuff going on afterwards?
You know, I'm a firm believer that crown or not, your life should be more or less exactly the same. So although I'm excited to go represent, it would be crazy to make it in the finals, but that wouldn't change much for me here on Saipan. I'd come back and I'd love to do community events between now and next year, of course, and really highlight some important things. But mostly I'll just still be working with the dogs, still be working with this community, and doing what I usually do.
Is this going to be like the other pageant shows or like America's Got Talent where they see you in line and you're mic'd up and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait, I know you. And then they show that pre-packaged thing of like, well, growing up in Saipan, this is the stuff that I've been doing. Are they doing any of that pre-production stuff?
I have no idea. I think there's going to be a few videos. I've been asked to send in pictures of myself when I was younger with my family. So I'm sure there will be a few that have a whole storyline going, but we'll see. I've also seen a few, AI storytellings of my life, which has been interesting.
Creepy.
Yeah.
That sounds really creepy.
I know. There's YouTube videos of like, here's Arya's journey to the
oh my gosh.
Earth. Wow.
All right. So,
Okay.
That's funny because I was just, doom scrolling is terrible. Trying my best to keep my kids from turning into a doom scroller like me. But I've been looking, I'm like, ooh, let me check out all these different video production things. Now I have a whole list of things to explore this week about how to do it, or like the pricing's affordable. I'm like, all right, just have some fun once a week, or every show I could have some kind of little whatever, unless it's like really weird, like that's it. I'm just thinking how I can package all these video clips easy, and that could be it.
It could be fun, or you're right, it could go the exact opposite way.
Yeah, I'm hoping not that. That's all right.
You'll be fine.
So that's what I've got. Do you have any shout outs or anyone you want to acknowledge?
Just the community as a whole. It's been an incredible journey. I really did not expect to be here and for the community to choose me to highlight Saipan, but I am so honored and I'm really excited and I can't wait.
That's awesome. All right. Well, this is Miss Marianas Earth, CNMI. I can't believe it. This is like the coolest thing, and I can't imagine. I could never win because you need clearly to have enough hair to keep that thing on your head, and I'm not worthy about that. Sophia also says good morning, and we're going to take a break. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
This was awesome. All right, guys, we'll be back with more when we come back, but it's going to get a lot less pretty in here really fast. See you in just a little bit.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical-grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician, who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
All right, welcome back, Marianas. It is Labor Day. That's right, it is Monday. It is 8:21 in the morning, and we've got a lot to get to. We've got to talk some big stuff about some headlines that are going to make a big impact on everything here in the CNMI. Everything seems like it's going to cost a lot more really soon. But before we get to that, let's get you the top stories from Fox News.
Not here, Mr. President. I'm Daria Albinger, Fox News. First, it was Washington. Now, President Trump says he wants to send the National Guard to Chicago to fight crime. And now many officials in U.S. cities are saying it stops there.
Washington, D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro on Fox News Sunday singled out Chicago as being in need of a federal assist to lower crime.
What they're doing is they're turning to politics and they're turning to anything anti-Trump, as opposed to saying we want to join the president.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker on CBS Face the Nation called troops that may come to Chicago an invasion, and says he's not been consulted about any enforcement.
They ought to let us know when they're coming, where they're coming, if it's ICE or if it's ATF or whoever it is.
Pritzker says federal law doesn't allow troop enforcement in U.S. cities, and he will sue the president if that happens. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A lawyer for Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook has asked a federal judge to keep her on the job while she fights the president's attempt to fire her over mortgage fraud allegations. California Congressman Ro Khanna was on NBC's Meet the Press and asked if Cook should release the mortgage documents in question to put the allegations to rest.
She should release them. She should be transparent so that we see that this is just a political football and really it's hiding an economic record.
Cook's attorneys argue her filing was just a pretext for the president to secure a majority of the Fed board. So far, no charges against her have been filed. A federal judge has temporarily blocked the government from deporting hundreds of Guatemalan children who crossed the border without their families. Government lawyers maintain the children were not being deported, but rather that they were being reunited at the request of their parents or guardians. Some of the lawyers for the children dispute those claims. America's listening to Fox News.
Listen to the all-new Brett Baier podcast featuring Common Ground, in-depth talks with lawmakers from opposite sides of the aisle, along with all your Brett Baier favorites like his all-star panel and much more. Available now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
President Trump says he'll fight a ruling by a federal appeals court that finds most of his tariffs are unconstitutional. The president on Truth Social calling the decision highly partisan and saying it would be a total disaster for the country if the tariffs run away. Counselor to the president, Peter Navarro, on Fox News Sunday.
This was weaponized partisan injustice at its worst. Politicians in black robes. You had 6 out of the 7 judges, Democrats, but you also had 12 blue states intervening against Trump.
Some Democrats on Capitol Hill are promoting an end to the tariffs. The leader of the world's Roman Catholics has offered a blessing today to the victims in last week's mass shooting at a Catholic school in Minneapolis and to their families. Fox's Kevin Uretsky with the details.
The first American pope remembering those hurt during the shooting in his native country.
Our prayers for the victims of the tragic shooting during a school mass in the American state of Minnesota.
An 8-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl were killed, and nearly 20 others, mostly children, were wounded. The Pope offering a prayer for all children hurt every day around the world.
Let us plead God to stop the pandemic of arms, large and small, which infects our world.
Leo also calling for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine, saying, quote, "The voice of weapons must be silenced, while the voice of fraternity and justice must rise." Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Services were held this morning in the auditorium of the Annunciation Catholic School. Israeli forces killed a Hamas spokesman as Israel's security cabinet considers expanding the offensive in Gaza. The spokesman says if Israel does that, the remains of the dead hostages could disappear forever. I'm Daria Aldinger. This is Fox News.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Wake up, sunshine, it's a brand new day. Brad's got the stories that'll light your way. Take a smile on his face, he's ready to share. Share. Good morning, Marianas. Feel the love in the air. Good morning, Marianas. Come join the fun. Together we'll shine like the morning sun.
With the waves crashing in, hear the oceans call. Brad brings the news that connects us all. From the islands to the world, those kind of wish. Good morning, Marianas, the best time of year.
Good morning, Marianas. Let's start the day. Laughter and stories, come what may.
All right, good morning, Marianas, and welcome back. It is 8:28 in the morning, and now you're all caught up with the latest stories that are happening in the United States and all around the world. Not too shabby indeed. Now, it is a day off for most of you guys out there, but not for everybody. So it's important that you get to see what's happening on the roads out here. Let's take a look. Get out there to the roads real quick. And Saipan's looking pretty good right now all over the place. You see it's mostly green all over the map, and that's the way we want to see it. Let's get down there and take a look. It is looking green all over the place because no schools are open. Isn't that the best way? All the students are screaming, yeah. All right, there's a little bit of traffic over there by Guangdong Hardware, but really everything else is looking mighty fine all around the CNMI. Green, because everybody's still trying to recover from an amazing Sunday in Saipan. There's still more excitement happening today. The big day off for the Commonwealth. It is Labor Day and could not be better. And okay, maybe it could be better. You could be hanging out on Transit CNMI. You can. Look at that. You could be, instead of driving around the roads, you could be just letting them do all the work for you by hopping on the Blue Line. That's right. Standard fares are easy. It's only $2 to get anywhere you want to go on the Blue Line. And it's even better if you're a student, veteran, active duty military, a Monopco, or if you've got a disability, it's only $1. That's half off. Can you believe it? On Monday through Friday at 6:30 to 8:30, 6:30 in the morning to 8:30 p.m. But on weekends and holidays, like today, 6:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. Hey, drivers got to have some fun too, so they're going to let them go home early by about 30 minutes. Got to love it. Now, make sure you pay an exact change. You got to, because they're not going to give you any change back. Either that or you're leaving a big fat tip for your driver. By the way, it's not really a tippable thing, but I'm sure they take it. So pay an exact change over there when you're boarding the bus. You want to find out more, give them a call, 236-2682, 236-2682. I'm telling you, it's a great ride. Those buses are clean and air conditioned, and they've got free Wi-Fi. You can see where they are all the time on their app right now. We're looking. There's one over there in Garapan. The other one's by Jota and Dandan, driving around. They just keep circling around, picking people up and dropping people off, getting it done. The one that says not in service, that one's just hanging out just in case. So if there was ever anything that happened with one of the buses, they're ready to go right there. You don't have to wait for it to come all the way from lower base or anything like that. That kind of forward thinking is the reason why they won that nationwide award for being the best small market, rural market transportation system. All right, now we're back to the show. This is fun. And I tell you, I love those guys at Transit CNMI, and you will too. You guys got to check it out. In fact, we're not going to do it today, but one of these days, we're going to do the whole show from the bus, and that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so what is happening here locally? Well, we can get to something that's going to be a massive impact on the people of the NMI. If they can't get this figured out, it's going to be a little scary. True story. Because it's going to get expensive for everything here if they can't figure this stuff out. And our Congresswoman put this out. It was busy over the weekend. Nobody actually got to take off because of this stuff that came down. And this is the letter from our Congresswoman, but this is what it all comes down to. This is about the global guidance for international mail, not mares. Sorry, it is not about old horses. It is about the global guidance for international mail from U.S. Customs and Border Patrol. Well, hey, that shouldn't affect us. We've got our own customs. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but it does. It's based on this executive order 14324. It suspends the duty-free de minimis. Ooh, yeah, it sounds like one of the names from here. We got De Leon Guerreros, we got De Los Santos, and we got de minimis. Anyway, it suspends the duty-free de minimis treatment for all countries. Now, this means really that there used to be, it would lower the. There was a standard, basically, like if you wanted to buy something online, you wouldn't have to pay for the tariff on it or anything if it's less than $800, which is pretty cool. That sounds like a good deal. But now they got rid of it. And so that means if you order something online and it costs, and the minimum now is like $80. So if you order something online that costs $50, you might have to pay an additional $80 for it. That sounds crazy, right? Oh, no, I'm with you. Well, let's do a couple of things here. Let's take you to the White House's site that explains it. This is the executive order that changed it from President Trump. And I understand why he's doing it. I totally understand it. This was signed a month ago. He's like, hey, after this, we're doing it. He's like, by the authority vested in me as president of the by the Constitution, the laws, and all that stuff. He's like, I'm suspending this thing. And basically, the CNMI is going to be caught in this big nationwide issue about there not being any real production in the United States anymore. There's no manufacturing really anymore. But this is the part right here. Suspensions of duty-free de minimis treatment. And so we're going to read through it real quick. And this is how it works. And now, again, this is the heavy part. It says, a duty-free de minimis exemption that used to be here for us shall no longer apply to any shipment of articles not covered by 50 USC 1702, regardless of value, country of origin, mode of transportation, or method of entry. Accordingly, all such shipments, except those sent through International Postal Network, shall be subject to all applicable duties, taxes, fees, exactions, and charges. International postal shipments not covered there shall be subject to the duty-free rates described in Section 3 of this order. It says that the entry for all shipments that are that prior to the effective order qualify for the exemption, except for shipments that are sent through International Postal Networks, should be filed using the appropriate stuff. Now, here's the thing. All of this means that everything's going to be, here it is right here. Everything is going to be more expensive. Here, look, it's under letter C. A specific duty shall be assessed on each package containing goods entered for consumption based on the effective IEEPA tariff rate applicable to the country of origin of the product as follows. Number one, or we say letter I, countries with the effective IEEPA tariff rate of less than 16%, it's $80. No matter how much it costs, it's a minimum of $80. If they're subject to the higher tariff rate, it's double, $160. If you've gotten a tariff that's above 25%, it's a minimum of $200. So if you want to order something from a country that is on the heavy tariff side, like from China, you want to get like a new aux cord. You want to get like a new USB cable. That's going to cost you like $8. We'll add another $200 to it. Yeah, this is crazy. Now, here's the part, though. It's thrown everybody for a loop because nobody knows how to handle this. I know that's why they've got this guidance from Customs, right? That's over here. But it's screwing up everybody, including the post office. They're not exactly sure how to do it. You know who else this is screwing up? The people who transport it from like United. United's not shipping stuff anymore because they don't want, unless it's paid for, unless that thing's already paid for, because they don't want to be the ones who get banged with that fee. So now everybody is suffering from this right now. Now, again, I understand it. I understand how we got to this point. But in the short term, it's kind of going to be sucky over here, because of that. Yeah, we are caught in a tough spot because of this. And so this is it. This is that whole thing. Again, we posted all these documents already on our page, so you're able to see it. And but like, it's a real big deal. So now our Congresswoman yesterday fired out a press release that we posted as well, so you guys could see it. And she's saying this: on Friday, I was informed that airmail package deliveries to Guam and the CNMI have been suspended. While no official statement has been provided, the suspension appears to stem from the implementation of this Executive Order 14324, which ended that de minimis exemption for low-value imports, and from federal policies now being carried by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. It's our understanding that letters and mail shipments by sea remain currently unaffected. It's an evolving situation. While the executive order applies globally, it creates unique complications for the territories, which by law stand outside the U.S. Customs territory. In the case of the CNMI, this relationship is expressly defined by our covenant with the United States. My office has reached out to CBP and the U.S. Postal Service to seek clarification on how these new requirements apply to the Marianas
and when regular service will resume. We're also coordinating with the congressional offices of Guam, American Samoa, and the U.S. Virgin Islands to ensure a unified territorial response. For our community, reliable mail service is essential. Families, businesses, and government operations rely on the dedicated work of the U.S. Postal Service daily. This need is even greater for individuals with unique healthcare requirements. Despite differences in legal status under federal law, citizens in the CNMI are Americans and deserve the same access to essential services as all Americans in the states. We are pressing federal agencies for immediate guidance and an interim solution that respects the legal framework governing the territories while avoiding unnecessary disruption for the Marianas. And then she says that she'll continue to provide updates with our federal partners. That's the big thing on this. We have our own customs, right? We have our own rules for this. So why is this killing us, right? Because it's already we're already feeling it because of all the horrible economy that we have right now, right? We're experiencing it. We're living this life every freaking day. It's happening. But now this is like one extra little kick while we're sitting there trying to get back up on our own 2 feet. We're already losing the Korean flights from Jeju this month. And now this, it's a real tough one. It is going to be a tough one. So they're going to see if they can't figure this out. Now, bigger picture, this is probably not a terrible thing for the country because it's going to force businesses to manufacture things in the States. And that's going to help us out. In the short term, this sucks for us, right? It absolutely does. But, you know, you go back to like World War II, one of the reasons why we won the war is because we were able to manufacture stuff. We were a manufacturing powerhouse. Well, ended up happening, and Ross Perot warned against this during the 92 election. He was warning about what would happen with all these different free trade agreements and all this other stuff. And he said, you're going to hear a giant sucking sound. That's the sound of our jobs leaving the country. And they're going to go out. And the prices of goods will drop. And then he was talking about how, how are we ever going to get the manufacturing base back? He's like, well, here's what's going to happen. Those prices are going to lower down because they have lower labor rates outside of the United States than we have. So as those economies outside the United States improve, their rates are going to go up, but ours are going to go down, and the damage is already done to try to get that manufacturing base. And so now we're looking at this like 30 years later and going through this. And so now we're going to have to find out, is the United States going to get back into manufacturing again? Are they going to make manufacturing great again? I mean, it's like, so we'll see. But that doesn't really help the little guy. And we are the little guy in this situation. We're in the meantime, we're kind of screwed. But there's no other way to force all these changes to the system if they don't do these drastic things, because everyone just tries to lobby themselves out of it. And we're probably going to try to get ourselves out of it too for this, and I hope we do. But I hope as a result, we end up getting other businesses coming here and becoming part of this. And speaking of that, we got a press release this morning from our lieutenant governor who was out there in the mainland. He made a visit to ZM Trucks U.S. headquarters in their launch in Fontana, California. And he's hoping that could do some things for us over here. He checked out the site, and he took part in some test drives and some factory tours and saw like a zero-emission commercial truck out there. And I think he's hoping that could be us. And so he said he's looking at opportunities for manufacturing and investment that creates jobs in our hometown here in the Marianas. And while they haven't announced any plans for us here yet, he thinks that by going out there to have those, starting those relationships and moving forward, that there might be a chance for us as a potential hub for manufacturing and clean technology. which, hey, I'll tell you, that would be pretty cool if they could pull that off. You know, no question about it. You know, we need stuff. we've got a need for some investment. The only thing is that, you know, if we're going out against people from other jurisdictions that are trying to hear about. So here's the photo, by the way, of the lieutenant governor. He's out there. There's Ray Umel, our DPW secretary as well, and I think that's Mark Rabalman, who's out there as well. You can see that they are out there trying to make some relationships. And I love it. The 80th anniversary of the Flying Tigers victory. Are you familiar with the Flying Tigers? They're really great. It's a great story. Started in China, actually, funny enough. And that was a U.S. volunteer fighting force before they got pulled into the United States Air Force. They were basically trained pilots. They were like professional pilots, like mercenaries, flying to shoot down the Japanese. True story. It was really cool. The Flying Tigers. They were kind of this renegade group. Anyway. But the question is that going to bring some manufacturing jobs to the CNMI? Hope so. Is that going to bring any jobs or any economic boost to the CNMI? Hope so. But you got to be out there doing it and getting it done. And we talked about the lobbying being done in the mainland. And it looks like we're going to get a new face of lobbying in the mainland too, because the governor has cut ties with Fred Radewagen, who that's Amada Radewagen's husband. A lot of people were saying that he's the one who's really calling the shots for that office, but he's out there and he's tied in with all kinds of folks. Well, he's not tied in with us anymore because that contract is over. And he said, hey, the governor said, hey, it's just too expensive. You know, we don't need to be spending money on that. So we'll see what goes for the CNMI here soon. But the first thing to go is Fred Radewagen. No, he's no longer there. Also, you know, we saw from our friends over at Candid News that they sent the info over to us too, that, you know, Gov is cutting ties with some folks in his office. And we expected some of this, right? In fact, if you take a look over, there they are. It says they cut loose a couple of folks. Agnes Titano is one of them, and Tomasa Mendiola, the governor's sister. They're both no longer going to be with the office. Their contract's expiring at the end of the month, and that it's not a statement on their ability to do their job, but just saying, hey, they're making some changes and their needs and restructuring. And I'm not surprised. You know, I figured there was going to be, you can read more about it. It's over there on candidnews.com. They've got it. And, you know, it's not a surprise. I don't think it should come as a complete surprise. You know, whenever a new governor comes in, they do make changes, you know, with the staffing and all that stuff. But we're used to seeing that happen when it happens at the change, like when there's a transition after an election, all that stuff. We've seen 2 governors pass in recent memory within the last 10 years and seen that kind of stuff happen. But for the most part, I think with Governor Enos, it was when he passed away, you know, they were all on the same team and all that other kind of stuff. And after Governor Palacios and Lieutenant Governor Apateng's administration began, you know, it wasn't long before we heard some rumblings that they weren't the best of friends, or that they didn't agree on everything. And, you know, how could they? You know, I mean, especially if you're dating somebody, you're married with somebody, you don't agree on everything, right? So you get that. And then when it becomes your office, when you're the governor, you got to shape it for your image. I get it. Or, you know, the image that you see for your area that you govern, right? So your administration has got to be in your image. So Apateng's got to be putting some folks that he wants in his spots, folks who maybe, you know, he's able to communicate with a little bit better. Again, like they said in those letters, they're not being removed for cause. They're just not going to be renewed at the end of their deal. And that he's going to move on with folks that, you know, I mean, that's what governors do. And that's what appointed positions are all about. Appointed positions, they're not competitive, right? It's not like somebody had been working there for like 30 years, working their way up the ranks, and then all of a sudden they're being let go because of a politics thing. No, they're appointed in there because of politics stuff, and then they're being changed out for politics stuff. Specifically appointed positions. I mean, like, that's it, right? So I'm hoping that they find good landing spots for sure. But the other stuff, though, is what's coming next. After the big announcement, when we streamed it live for you, the solar announcement at the multipurpose building. That was a really big deal because now they said that's $30,000 that they would spend just for utilities for multipurpose. And that's wild, right? And now that's no longer going to be an expense because they've got the solar power stuff for that. The air cons, it was freezing. I swear to God, it was like wintertime. I thought they were going to be unveiling a new announcement that they've got a new ice cube manufacturing in the CNMI, and it's based at the multipurpose building. But it turns out it was just aircon, that solar-powered aircon that they were showing off because they don't have to pay for those utilities for it anymore. Okay, and then hold on, we're going to get to the press conference that we had with the Gov, or not press conference, but right at the end, we were able to ask him a few questions. So let's do this. Let's get you guys on here. We started asking him some questions. One second.
Thanks. Good morning, Governor. Good afternoon. What just happened?
Today, like the Senator said, today is a historic day for us here. This is the first building, actually the center of our island here, that we energized the solar panel today. So this is really a cost saving for us, especially this building where a lot of people use these facilities for functions, like graduations, school functions.
And really, we're just getting ready to ask the next question. Mark leans in and asks a question about the BEAD.
Can you comment about the BEAD contract? Docomo is come out with a public statement that they want to challenge it.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on yet about that. I know that Docomo, I think, filed a protest on that, and we have not decided what to do yet. So until I come back from Washington, then we'll probably sit down with broadband and find out what's going on.
Gov, can you confirm if your legal counsel is drafting a letter to have an extension for that process?
We have drafted. I'm going to ask for extension to give us time to look at the protest and see what we can do.
Do you have a position on whether it should be aerial or buried fiber?
I don't have any position. I don't want to make that decision now, so we'll wait until the protest is settled.
It was mentioned in the House today that it needs to be done quickly because they claim the Trump administration may stop the grant potentially if it's not used quickly. Is that a possibility?
I support that. I know that we want to do these things. I've been supporting broadband, and we want to see our people take advantage of that. It's a good program for all of us here in the Commonwealth, but we want to make sure that things are done properly.
Gov, can you talk about Team King finally finalizing the sale for IPI's properties? Are you going to reinstate the CCC or the Lottery Commission to vet the new owners of IPI's properties?
I'm not reinstating anything. That's one issue when the late governor put out an executive order on that. So it was not sanctioned by the House. So the City Commission reverts back to the Lottery Commission.
Gov, the House reduced the projection for the FY26 budget, absent the 29 million MPLP loan. So, do you support the House action on the budget?
I'm not going to say I support it. We're still working with the House and the Senate. The Senate's still undergoing a public hearing, on the budget. So I know the House is finished. They should be probably finalizing everything today or this morning. because they have a session this morning, so we'll go from there.
Now that you've gotten to be on the job for a little while now, do you think you're going to run for governor in 2026?
I will not run for any more political positions. I'm going to retire. I think I've done enough for our people in the Commonwealth. I've been in this business for the longest time, so I think I deserve to retire.
I'm going to retire into Brad's basement.
So welcome to that.
Thank you, Governor.
Gov, will you be endorsing anybody right now, or still studying your choices?
Not really. I'm not ready for that. We'll wait and see. Let me do what I have to do first for our people.
I have one more question. What about solar on the island? What are your hopes for cleaner energy on this island? Not just this building, but the entire island.
Like I just said, I met with CUC, Mr. Watson, the other day, and just before we put out the RFP for the solar. And I supported that 100%. I even gathered all the regulating agencies in one room so we can all understand each other, that I am pushing for that project. So we're going to help CUC in whatever way that we can do it legally. So.
I know they said we're going to save like $30,000 a year on this project. Do you know offhand how much this project costs?
I have no idea. I don't know. But like I said, we're working on the other, like correction right now. Correction is one of the buildings that have been incurring a lot of utility bills, and the judiciary. So right now, I think correction is the bid is out for any design, and so as judiciary bidding.
You gonna watch some of the softball tonight for the tournament, Mr. Governor?
We're gonna try. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. What tournament?
It's the Labor Day tournament.
Every year is the biggest. That is.
Tonight or the weekend?
It was the same start yesterday with the rain. All right, there we go. That was after the big unveiling at the multipurpose of the new solar array. By the way, the overhead looks of everything, like the top of the roof is just covered in all these solar panels, and as part of this program, it's really outstanding, and it's going to be a big difference. Again, $30,000 right there for the CNMI, and the governor was talking about, like, hey, this is not the end of it. We're trying to get the hospital, we're trying to get the correction. There you go. Nothing to sneeze at, though. I'll tell you that. Boy, that was another one that came out. All this stuff that happened last week. At the end of last week and Friday, it was like nonstop. Everything that happened. We also got the news that Payless Super Fresh is closing. We put this stuff out as soon as we got it on Friday. Friday was just nonstop for us. We had Cultural Heritage Month going on as well. We had the CPA meeting where MRI was awarded a contract for concessions at the airport. Who's MRI? No, it's not a machine that checks your body. It is the folks from Kensington, Eland, Micronesian Resort, Inc. That is them as well. So the people who brought you NC picks, and they're not getting a master concessionaire contract where it's like for everything, but they're just going to be one of the other retailers inside the airport. Right now, the airport looks like a ghost town, and little by little, they're adding individual retailers, which I think is a great idea. It's not what they want, of course. They want to have. We want to make it easy. Let's just get one big retailer and do the whole thing. The thing is, like, people aren't coming here to shop at duty free anymore. People aren't coming here because we don't have one. People aren't coming in here just for all these luxury goods anymore because Koreans aren't even coming here anymore this month, So we'll eventually be having more stuff come in. So we have to rethink everything we do. It's a big adjustment on so many different levels for so many agencies, but CPA is one of them and MBA is one of them as well. And again, even with our central government folks, we're going to have to be doing stuff too, because we're not going to be able to count on the same dollars from the same places in the same way. You just can't do it. Like when people, like the different agency posts on Facebook,
that they're doing something, that's fantastic. But if they don't have any Facebook followers, nobody's going to hear about it, right? You're just checking a box. You have to address why you do what you do. And that's what the airport's going to have to do. Why do we have such a big airport? I mean, we're not a big airport, but I mean, like, you can't operate that airport the same way anymore. What they need to do, likely, is shut down half of it. So you don't, because we don't have all these other folks. Why are you air conditioning the whole airport? Cut your utility costs if you're not going to go solar, and cut it off. Just cut off half of the airport, the big half. Just use gates 5 and 6, and that's it for everybody. Unless you get some random extra flight that pops in, and cut it down. That's it. I mean, you just have to be smart about it. You can't keep doing it the way you're doing it, especially if you don't have any money coming in. The other big thing they talked about is that at the CPA board meeting last week is that they have already started to reach out to the airlines about moving in to the new commuter terminal. That new commuter terminal is set to open next month, and they are going to be tearing down the container village that they've got over there that they've had since 2018. Can you believe it? I mean, like, literally, it's been a solid 7 years out there that started with Star Marianas setting up a tent, right? And so the question is, like, you've got MAX, right? MAX, Micronesian Air Cargo and Micronesian Air Connection Services. They've got their own place. They're boarding people out of, as a commuter airline. They're able to do it based out of their own spot. I don't know why they'd move into a commuter terminal if they can handle everything right there. Why would you pay rent twice? Just pay for the spot that you're using. And Star Marianas is the only other person that would be in the commuter terminal. And so they would end up paying for that. And then that's it. But I think the way CPA has been doing it, they've been trying to spread the costs out, but there's no one to spread the costs out to. The only person that would be in there that would be moving in who doesn't have their own big hangar like that would be Star Marianas. So, I mean, if I was Micronesian Air Cargo and Air Connections, I really wouldn't want to move because they've got everything they need right there. They don't need to do it there. And again, as a commuter airline, that's a regular thing. You don't need a special commuter building for that, even though we have one, which is great, like to centralize those kind of facilities. But what's the plan going to be? And are they going to try to force MAX into going over there? I think that'd be a bad move too. You know, they're trying to force the hand. Well, we got to pay for it somehow. Well, yeah, you got to think about that before you do it. And you had 7 years to put that plan together. So what is the plan going to be? I'm not going to jump on that necessarily because we got to find out what's going to happen of it. But I can tell you from going to the meetings and listening to how these things work, I can't think that sometimes it's a ready, fire, aim before, where they put that cart before the horse, and they'll use a lot of idioms right now. We'll see how it happens. I have a lot of hopes, but I think for the airport, getting back to it, the main airport, you got to cut the whole gates 1 through 4 off. Just shut it down. And just use gates 5 and 6. Save on the utilities, save on that aircon, save on everything, and just use that. You don't need it anymore. You can't afford it. Not letting it rot, but like you gotta shut that. Curtail your expenses. And if you're not doing that, it's kind of ridiculous. This is where you have to be able to control your spending. And that's one way to do it. Also, if we don't have any flights coming in, do we need as many people there all the time? Probably not as well, right? You got to shift people around to where you need them. And if you've got to cut things down, I know. I heard the former chair say, well, you can't do that. You're playing with people's lives. I'm like, it's not playing with people's lives. I mean, you don't want to cut down the staffing if you don't have to. But if you're overstaffed for an underserved airport, what are you going to do? You got to then if you want to keep the staff numbers up, then you got to reduce the number of hours that people are getting because you got to have your expenses match what you're doing. That's it. That's not easy. I know. There's a human factor to all that stuff too, right? But the CPA is not an employment agency. They are an agency meant to keep going. And we hear how they struggle with a lot of that stuff. And we hope it all works out. And we're going to keep following it too. What else? smaller vendors, that's it. Smaller vendors at the airport. It's going to be more difficult for them. They're going to get less money in than what they were getting, but that's a lot better than nothing. And I tell you what, I think that they should charge a way better rate for these smaller local folks who are going in there so that they can actually afford to go in there and sell some of those goods and sell some of their wares over there, because they can't be there all the time. You know, they can't, because especially if you're not going to be having flights in there, what's the advantage to having them in there? I don't know what you end up doing. Does it become a consignment shop at the airport? But with local goods, because there's going to be a lot of people. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of people. There have been because of having DFS at the airport. So you look for the silver lining in this. When you lose a DFS, you lose a Lotte, do we get a lot of money from them? Yes, absolutely. Is that way more beneficial? Totally understand it. Yes, I got you. I understand that. From a consumer standpoint, those guys are willing to pay a whole bunch of money to be in there, and that's what we really need for the airport. But right now, nobody wants to be here, so you're not going to have it. But the silver lining on this is that can really help a lot of our local vendors, because there is no real central place. I know you're going to tell me Marianas Creations, which is great. I love that place. But there's no real central place to buy local stuff. So you can make that the airport. That could be it. The airport. It's not like it could be right before people fly to the mainland, before they fly to Guam, before they fly to wherever. You could sell that stuff, have those local products right there. Just make it easy for folks, because people want those genuine things. They don't want a shirt that just says like, I love Saipan, although they do. But I mean, but that's not it. They would rather bring like, there's some kind of coconut oil thing that you can get through where you don't have to worry about it going through TSA and like where it gets taken out of your bag, you know, where if it passes screening from TSA for a bigger retail size inside, man, awesome. Money, perfect, lovely. I think that could be the real win. Silver lining stuff. And it really will help our local vendors as long as you don't charge the crap out of them like you do for everybody else. So you have to rethink how you do that, because I absolutely hate that I have to pay $7 for a $1 bottle of green tea at the airport and and sell a kidney for a tuna sandwich while I'm waiting for my $600 flight to Guam, right? It's just awful. So give local retailers a chance in the airport. It's going to sell. It's going to work for them, and you'd be happy. Now, the only thing is you got to have people there. So you need each one of those vendors. They're not going to be there for those 3 a.m. flights. So maybe you have to have a centrally, that's the service then. Somebody gets those vendors together, and all those vendors together pay for that point of sale person and for those local goods, and manages all that kind of stuff. And this is the way to do it. It's not just that little Guma Natibu that they have downstairs. You have something upstairs. Do they still call it the Guma Natibu? They used to. Anyway, and that's it. That's the big win. If people could get their local stuff, their authentic stuff right there on their way up. All right. Well, by the way, it's 9:07. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to wrap it up because it's 9 o'clock and we'll get stuff to do. We have a real big meeting today that we're really excited about. And we could talk about more issues tomorrow. I definitely don't want to be working too hard today. But here's what we will do. We're going to get you the latest update for the news, and then we're going to call it a show, guys. So thanks for tuning in this morning, and I hope this is an awesome day for you on Labor Day. Spend some time with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. If they don't live here, give them a call. Give them a WhatsApp, give them a message, and tell them you love them. My mom's been sending me these messages on Facebook, so after we're done with the show, I'm going to give her a call too. All right, guys, I love you. Thanks for being here. Have a great Labor Day. Enjoy the holiday. You earned it. And if you're working today, well, you're awesome because you're working. Hopefully you have more fun when you get off tonight. Take care.
Crime controversy. I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. After sending the National Guard troops to the nation's capital to help combat crime, President Trump has expressed interest in sending troops to other cities. Maryland Governor Wes Moore joined ABC this week to discuss that. Despite Baltimore being one of the most violent cities in America, he has seen positive signs of a drop in crime in recent years.
We still very much have work to do. It's very encouraging the fact that Maryland has had amongst the fastest drops in violent crime anywhere in the United States.
Governor Moore expressed that he would want federal assistance, but not in the form of the National Guard, saying the National Guard is not an effective form of federal assistance. The chair of the House Oversight Committee suspects there were improprieties in the federal investigation of Jeffrey Epstein, so he's calling for more information. Fox's Jill Nato reports.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's been asked to hand over suspicious activity reports regarding the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer sent a letter to the secretary saying the committee is reviewing possible mismanagement of the federal case. He set a deadline of September 15th to see those reports. Comer's also issued deposition subpoenas to several former government officials, including former President Clinton and former Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who served under President Trump. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
Rudy Giuliani's spokesperson says the former New York City mayor and Trump attorney was injured in a car crash in New Hampshire on Saturday night. On X, Michael Ragusa says the 81-year-old Giuliani's rental vehicle was rear-ended. Giuliani was taken to a trauma center after suffering a fractured vertebra and other injuries. It's unknown if he remains hospitalized. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
The church and school where last week's deadly shooting occurred in Minneapolis held its first Sunday Mass since the tragedy. Details from Fox's Gernell Scott.
Vigils and masses at the Annunciation Church and School in Minneapolis have been held throughout the past week, but this first Sunday Mass may be the most reflective and offered Pastor Dennis Zarin the chance to thank many more.
All law enforcement, medical professionals, emergency response teams, and counselors who have so fiercely worked to protect and heal us in the minutes, hours, and days after Wednesday's tragedy.
2 children were killed, 18 others, 15 of them kids, were injured during a service marking the first week of school. The FBI has been looking into the deadly act as domestic terrorism and a hate crime. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A lawyer for Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook has urged a U.S. judge to let her keep her job while she fights President Trump's attempt to fire her over mortgage fraud allegations. Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California joined NBC's Meet the Press to discuss whether Cook should release the mortgage documents in an attempt to counter those allegations.
She should release them. She should be transparent so that we see that this is just a political football and really it's hiding an economic record.
Lawyers for Cook argue that her firing was merely a pretext for the president to secure a majority of the Fed board. So far, no charges have been filed against Cook. A U.S. judge today at least temporarily blocked the government from deporting a group of Guatemalan children who'd crossed the border without their families. Judge Sparkle Suknanen ordered the children back to the Office of Refugee Resettlement while the legal process plays out. Government lawyers maintain the children weren't being deported, but rather reunited at the request of their parents or guardians. I'm Deborah Valentine. This is Fox News.
I'm Janice Dean. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
If you see something, say something, and stay anonymous. Call Crime Stoppers at 234-7272 or submit a tip online at nmicrimestoppers.com. No names, no caller ID, no recordings, just your info. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could earn up to $1,000 in cash. Your tips have helped take hundreds of criminals off the streets in the NMI. It works because of you. Crime Stoppers, we want your information, not your name. PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.